Welcome into another episode of Getting Technical, brought to you by Better and Green. Wyatt, off a nice first episode of Getting Technical by us. I went 2-1, not too shabby. You, however, 3-0, swept the board there on Tuesday with the three ranked matchups. I did technically lose on Kentucky, but we had that game nailed. We thought Louisville was the side. Louisville was probably going to win. The points were getting up to where it was pretty uncomfortable to lay with Louisville, and yeah, it came down to the final, possession of the game. Louisville ends up covering, but could have really gone either way just as we broke it down. So we nailed that one, but you were on the Louisville side. I did lean slightly on Kentucky at that current number. And then we both hit with Illinois by hook or by crook. We got that one through. And Gonzaga in an absolute blowout in the second half there. Was a little nervous in the first half, not going to lie. But got there for us in the second half with ease. So doing really well to open up the college basketball season. Just one ranked game, so we'll make this a quick video tonight. It is Purdue and Alabama. But before we get into the breakdown of that game, how you feeling off your 3-0 Tuesday, and how has college basketball been for you in the last couple days?
Yeah, it was nice going 3-0, but it's not like I went out on a limb there. I took every single favorite. Granted, some of those favorites were lower ranked. And that's usually the spot we like, a lower ranked team favorite against a higher ranked team. But yeah, it's not like I went out on a limb there. All in all, in basketball, a little reality check for Michigan. I needed that. I think they needed that. I was pretty high on them after a huge win against Oakland, and they did not look good. Same old Michigan against that Wake Forest team. So it is a Power 4 team. I understand it's much different competition to Oakland, and it wasn't a true home game for Michigan either. But I needed that reality check. And, I'm doing all right. I think the strategy, honestly, is just these really high-scoring teams just keep taking the over. I mean, that Louisville-Kentucky game, I think Louisville had like 48 points at halftime. That game flew over the total. Michigan's overs are 2-0. Teams that love, or a team that just loves to score and just doesn't play defense. So that's kind of just been my strategy moving forward. We do have two really offensive teams tonight that we're going to talk about. And to be honest, I'm not going to give it out, but it's a high total. I think it's at 175.5. But the way this season's been going, it just seems like you just keep taking the overs of these powerhouse offensive teams. It seems like they're hitting. So that's kind of been my motto. I'm not going to give it out. I do have a game side that I am most likely going to bet. I'm interested to see your thought process on this game. But yeah, all in all, excited to get back into college basketball. Really good matchup tonight. Excited to watch it and hopefully win a bet.
Yeah, I somewhat unfortunately won't be able to watch this game because I will be back at the Breslin Center tonight for Michigan State to battle the Spartans there with San Jose State. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the game. Number 2, Purdue heading to Tuscaloosa to face the number 8 Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama 2.5-point home favorite. So they're basically telling you a neutral site game would be closer to a pick 'em here. Total, like you mentioned, whopping 175.5. And I'm going to throw it right back to you. I know you're a little more confident on this game than I am. But what side are you looking at here? Purdue versus Alabama.
Yeah, normally it would be screaming Alabama to me. It's the lower ranked team favored against a higher ranked team. And I know it's not a neutral site. I know it's at Alabama, so they have definitely the home court advantage here. But usually that would jump off the screen to me. I think this line is more because of the recent games for both these teams. Alabama just knocking off St. John's, number 5 in the country. Alabama was in the teens, got a nice win there. I believe it was at St. John's too, so on the road at MSG. And then Purdue struggling, 10-point win against Oakland, a same Oakland team that I know has had some tournament success, but just got absolutely smoked, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, by Michigan. So I think it was Purdue. They might have been up by 1 or 2 at half too. That was a really, really tight game that I didn't think people expected from the number 2 team in the country, especially after what Michigan did to that same team. So I think that line is a little dependent on the recency bias of both these teams' last games. Purdue did play Alabama last year, right around this time where it was at Purdue. So I think this was a home game series between these two teams. Purdue did win that game. But I am going to go back to the Boilermakers here. I'm going to take a shot on Purdue. This line's been all over the place. I think they're plus 3.5 now. They were plus 2.5 this morning. So I think it's teetering around that 2.5, 3.5 points. But I just based off the recency bias, Alabama, really big win. Purdue, really ugly win against not a great opponent. So I'm going to take a shot. I think Purdue can win this game outright. Like I said, with the totals, 2 really good offenses. not very good defenses. Don't hate the over. I just don't want to give it out. 175.5 in a college game is almost unbettable. But honestly, it probably will go over. But I like Purdue to cover in this game, and that is my biggest lean that I'm like at a 60-40% chance I'm going to bet it. I'm going to look to see how the line moves a little bit, look to see how the money moves as well. But I do like Purdue to cover the spread in this game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I like Purdue as well. And yeah, typically this would be a spot where I think you and I both, like you mentioned, would look at Alabama, the lower seed favored. Also, Purdue is getting Trey Kaufman run back, their big guy down low. It's his first game of the season, so kind of get that star player back in the lineup. But I like Purdue in this spot as well. Kaufman run, you look at his game last year against Alabama, 26, 8, and 4. So 8 rebounds, 4 assists, obviously 26 points. Really big game for him against this Alabama team. Typically, you'd look for maybe a little bit of a revenge spot here for Bama, but I mean, basically everyone's moved on and gone from that Alabama team. Not the case with Purdue. They're still Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, Trey Kaufman-Renn, guys that feel like they've been playing for this school for 10 years at this point, especially the first. I mean, dude, Fletcher Lawyer, how long has that guy been around? But my God. Yeah, and I think Purdue, you know, you mentioned it, close game with Oakland. They were actually tied at halftime in that game. And then came out, won the second half there. But I don't think they were taking Oakland that seriously. Oakland was off dismantling by Michigan. They still had Houston on deck. You know, they wanted to get some respect there. And, you know, I think kind of caught Purdue sleeping a little bit. I think Purdue's ready for this game. They're out of conference schedule. Nothing to really write home about too much. I mean, they have a couple, Iowa State, Auburn, Marquette. Marquette's actually kind of struggling. But Alabama on the flip side, like you just mentioned, a great win against St. John's on the road. Now come back home. They have Illinois coming up next week, Gonzaga right after that. So they're in a really tough stretch of their schedule. They still have Arizona, Kentucky. Well, that's not out of conference, but yeah, just a really tough out of conference schedule here for Alabama. So, you know, I don't think this is really a get up spot for them. Their get up spot was probably to start this gauntlet of a trip against St. John's. Obviously, they looked good. So yeah, I like Purdue here. Oh yeah, I do just see it just flipped to 3.5. Yeah, it's probably gonna bounce 2.5, 3.5 all day long. So get that 3.5 if you do like Purdue. But I'm with you. I like the Purdue side in this game. I actually don't hate the over. I know it's a ton of points. I think Purdue won this game 87-78 last year, which would not have gone over the total. But it's hard to look at an Alabama team and not go over. They run a NBA style offense over there. So yeah, I'm with you though. Purdue plus the points. You got the hot hand. I mean, we both kind of do, but you're 3-0. Let's try to make it 4-0 for the show picks. Before we get out of here, any final thoughts from you about this game?
Yeah, taking the first dog of the year, so that is news as well. I've only taken favorites so far, but yeah, I agree with everything you said, and I think you kind of piggybacked off me as well there. So I think if you are looking to bet this game, if you're looking to bet a side, I think Purdue's probably the sharper side. And yeah, St. John's, Alabama was 103-96, so 199 points. Purdue does have a better defense, in my opinion, than St. John's. Offensively, I think they're still pretty similar. So again, it's a lot of points for the over, but if the recent history this year has proven anything, it's that just take the over in these high scoring games. So I know 175.5 is a lot, but if you're not convinced by Purdue, maybe throw a half unit or so on the over there. And I think that has a decent shot of hitting as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, guys, that is going to wrap it for just a solo game breakdown of Getting Technical, but good luck with your plays if you do end up playing this game. Not a ton of great games outside of this one on the card tonight, but over the weekend, we're going to have some more great college basketball. So thank you for watching, guys. As always, enjoy this game. Enjoy the weekend of college hoops. And until next time, we will see you for another episode of Getting Technical, brought to you by Better and Green.
Welcome to Better and Green, eh? To Better and Green, eh? To Better and Green, eh? Listen in and cash out, that's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spot from the bottom to the top, hey. Shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome to our podcast, Better and Green.